Okay, this is the realacc flea 80 millimeter quad here. Look how tiny this thing is. And just for a comparison, I will put it up next to a Raycon brushless whoop. So there you go. This is the same size as a tiny whoop. So pretty tiny. 80 millimeters, I don't know. I mean, this is 66. I guess it is a tad bigger, but it looks smaller because it doesn't have the ducks on it. So yeah, and this one will take 40 millimeter props. So this is why I'm kind of gonna be more of a fan of this over this. This is gonna be for people that you know, don't like to break props or like to fly indoors a lot or whatever. This is going to be for people that are more experienced flyers. They don't crash as much and like to fly outdoors as well. So let's make sure it's 80 millimeters because I'm kind of curious. I haven't checked it yet. Yep, it's 80. Right on the money. So 80 millimeters motor to motor. It is 2.67 millimeters thick. I read 2.75 earlier. That's about 2.7. 2.6. Between 2.6 and 2.7. So really thick. This thing is solid. It's not really easily bendable. It doesn't flex hardly at all unless I really put pressure on it. This thing looks pretty sweet. I didn't make it how it's supposed to be. It comes with a lot taller standoffs. It would have been like up here. These are 15 millimeter standoffs, and it came with 25 millimeter standoffs. So yeah, it would have been much taller. And the reason for the 25 millimeter standoffs is because they want you to use, this is made for using with the Teeny Cube, which is a 4-stack 16 by 16, and it's got like two 2-in-1 ESCs, then the FC, and then the receiver. So that's why they give you the 25 millimeter standoffs, because the 4-stack is that tall. So I only used a 4-in-1 and a FC, so I only had a 2-stack plus the VTX up here. So 15 millimeter standoffs was fine. I still even have more room right there for when I add my receiver. I haven't put a receiver in this yet, but there's plenty of room in there for a Lemon satellite, no problem, or even an XM Plus, fit in there perfectly. I forgot to add that screw. Let's see. Yeah, I already said it takes 40 millimeter props, so I'm gonna put the props on and see, make sure it clears everything. These props came from Banggood. If you search 40 millimeter prop on Banggood, you'll find them. It's like the first 1 or 2 things on there. Pretty cheap, good quality. And look at that, it clears it. Plenty of room. So this is only in the China warehouse at Banggood, but oh, wrong screw. But if you use you can use faster shipping like I do. The shipping that I used, it took I think 3 or 4 days I think to get here, but it was like $12 for the shipping. So if you want to go that route, if you want to use the expedited shipping and you don't mind paying $12, then you can get anything that's in their China warehouse, you know, within 3 to 5 days. Usually comes in 3 to 4 days for me. I'm using the what is it? The Furious FPV tinypepper 5 amp 4-in-1. You get them at Heli Nation for pretty cheap. I think they're like $15, and they're really nice top of the line 4-in-1s for 16 by 16 millimeter. I'm using the Racewhoop flight controller, but I'm using the generic branded one from Banggood because it was only $8. It still is only $8. So, and this combination of 4-in-1 and flight controller, I can do 1 or 2S. And the way that it's set up on here, the only thing that I would need to change out to go between 1 and 2S is the battery. So that's pretty cool. On the Raycon Whoop, I used the same parts on one of them, but I wasn't able to switch between 1 and 2S without having to change out the connector. But on this one, if I get the right batteries, I can get some little two cell, like 300 milliamp hour 2 cells, and put one of these Hubsan plugs on them. And then I can switch between what I'm gonna use for the 1S, which is this Nanotech here. It's a 300 milliamp hour. Switch between this and a 2 cell. So that'll be nice. I will have some video to come as soon as I get my receiver put on. This thing's looking pretty sweet to me though. I like the looks of it. It's looking really nice. It's smaller than the brush quads that I used to build back in the day, and it's gonna have twice the power. See, let me show you real quick the weight, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the Raycon Whoops, if you watch Nick Burns' video of them, of this, you know that his weighed, I think, like 26 grams or something like that. That's what the number that comes to my head, but it could have been 25 or maybe 27. I don't completely remember, but we'll just say 26 to be fair. We'll just go in between. And the ones that I build, I mean, I'll weigh this one, but I think that's about what mine weigh too when I build them. So we're gonna throw them on the scale here and see. This one is completely finished, so 27 grams, okay. And I had one before I weighed the other day. I remember it was 26. So that was 27. 30 grams. 29. Okay, so 30 grams, and it does 40 millimeter props. That does 31 millimeter props. So this prop is much bigger. You're going to get much more lift with this 40 millimeter prop over this 31. As you can see, it's much beefier. So this is going to have much more power, and it's only 3 grams heavier. So pretty sweet. The only thing that I didn't like, see, I went with the split all-in-one here. You know, it's just it's the eachine TX01S. So it comes split like that. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to have a real low profile quad. You know, if I would have used the 25 millimeter standoffs, it would have just been up so high. It would look kind of ridiculous, but it looks pretty good how it is now. I can't wait to fly it. But anyway, if you use an all-in-one, it might be a little sketchy with using these props, because as you can see, it's clearing this camera no problem, but this camera is only like 12 millimeters wide or something, and the all-in-one cameras like the TX02 or 3 or 1 is 20 millimeters wide, maybe even 21. I can't remember. I think they're 20 though. See, so this is 14 and a half. If you're using a TX01, 2, or 3, then you're going to be out here, and it's going to be hitting the props. Well, it might go under the props. I don't think so, though. It looks like it would go all the way up to the top plate here. So it would probably be hitting the props. And I remember seeing people's comments for this frame on Banggood's website, where people were saying with a 1.5 inch prop, they were hitting the all-in-one camera. So, and a 1.5 inch is pretty much the same as a 40 millimeter. I think it's a little bit longer, but not a lot. These are 0703 15,000 kV Bold Clash motors. I found these to work the best out of all the different 0703s. I did really like the DYS ones, but they just had the 10,000 kV. I know they have a 20,000 kV, but I couldn't find any. And 20,000 a little bit much. They really suck down the 1S batteries. But the 10,000 kV DYS ones on 2S, they were pretty awesome. So I like those ones. But if you want to only go 1S, then you want something in between those two, which would be 15,000 kV. So 15,000 kV is the magic number for 1S. And I built one of these with 15,000 kV, and it flew amazing. So, like I said before, with this bigger prop, it's going to be even more awesome. And you can see there's just enough room to slide a lemon satellite in there after I take the plug off of it and the case. It's just barely going to fit. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. The carbon doesn't look bad. It's not the best, and it's super stiff. I mean, you're going to be breaking props, but that's it. Nothing else is going to be breaking.